And then, yeah, so as soon as you get any of those signposts, that's generally when you can justify large rates. And the other big thing is what you're saying is once you get a manager, when you have some work coming in and you can find someone who can represent you, there's a thing that just legitimizes a music professional if you have someone representing you doing your deals. And usually the time, I think we've talked about this before, but usually the time to get a manager is when you know you need one and you have too much stuff coming in and all of a sudden you're negotiating a bunch of things and you're not sure. That's the time where ask your friends, ask your peers, who's got a manager, go talk to your friends' managers and just ask for advice. Take somebody for coffee and say, hey, I don't know if I need a manager. You manage my friend's band. What do you think about XYZ? Maybe they'll be the person, maybe they can introduce you to folks, but getting a manager is a big step for raising rates and establishing rates and helping you make those decisions. That's really what a manager is for. At what point in this process did you get a manager?
When I started working with Tony, he introduced me to my first manager. His name was Evan Peters. At that time, I think Evan was working at Capitol as an A&R. He's since bounced around. I love Evan. He was the first manager. And I think Tony wanted someone to handle more of my production side of things, like getting me in writing rooms. And because at this whole time while I'm mixing and Tony's giving me work to do, he is also courting me for a publishing deal and wants me to be
you're still a producer writer.
He saw that. Yeah, at that point. So I had a manager for other things like that. He knew the songwriting world a bit more, being an A&R and working at publishing companies and labels. And that he also understood mixing. He was an engineer as well. So I had him work my mix business as well to keep me afloat while I was doing, all the speculative work that one was doing. And I didn't have a publishing deal at the time. I was just doing sessions so I could, have some sort of repertoire and to show publishers at the right time, which then worked out and turned into a publishing deal. But it just felt like it was the right time. Just like you're saying,
you need someone to fill a role.
Yeah, I needed someone to fill a role. And I was about to say one more thing about what we were talking about, which is until these points become known to you, whether it's for a rate or pro bono, whatever it is, just fill your calendar. Fill your schedule with things to do creatively, because one of those things is going to be the thing that gets you to the next step that we're talking about here. If you're not filling the calendar and you're just playing video games all day, you're never going to need a manager because there's not going to be enough coming in. Nothing against playing video games. Do both if you want to. But fill your calendar with things, sessions, free work. Find someone that's going to pay you a few $100. You can pay your rent on a couple things, but do the thing you want for passion for free. When you meet someone, you're at Hotel Cafe or whatever, and you're like, this person's great, and she's a young artist that has no money, no label. She's just great. Offer to mix her stuff for free. Who cares?
Or can I send you beats? Or can I send you some of my stuff? I love your work. I'd love to work on something together.
It tends to be what goes around comes around. So,
oh man, there's a bunch of things off of that. I also like some of these questions in the chat. The other thing too I wanted to say is that oftentimes, again, we did 2 episodes on business as well, which people should go back and check out. I don't remember which ones are the full business episodes, but again, go on the YouTube and just search Live with Matt Rad Business. We talked for 2 hours about this, but I think oftentimes the main thing that people will need first is an attorney. So once you have deals, you need to negotiate with bands that are on indie labels or putting something out and potentially making money. There are lots and lots of music attorneys that work on a percentage that you can connect through your other friends that make music that will take a percentage and help you negotiate a deal. My first manager was actually my attorney because I didn't quite have enough work to justify having a full-time manager, and I didn't have enough stuff going on, but he was Eric Valentine's attorney and manager, but mostly just an attorney. And so he managed me until we got to the point where I was getting enough work. He's still my attorney, Jeffrey Light, who's amazing. But an attorney is probably the first thing too when people are starting to get rates. Yeah, 25 and 26, we talked about business.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, all of this content is free. There's no secret knowledge here. We don't have sponsors. We don't run ads. We don't have a Patreon. All that we ask in return is that you share it with somebody. Thanks.